I never thought the night I forgot my wallet would be the one that shattered my life. It was a Thursday, nothing special. We'd been married for 7 years. No kids, just the two of us. Samantha worked in event planning, and I ran a small IT consulting business from home. Our schedules didn't always match, but we made it work. At least I thought we did. That night, we planned a casual dinner at this cozy Italian place downtown. We'd been there 100 times. She looked beautiful, a little too dressed up for pasta, but I didn't comment. I just smiled. She smiled back, but it didn't reach her eyes. Looking back, I think that was the first clue. Dinner was off. She kept checking her phone. I joked, "Your clients again," and she laughed too quickly. I let it slide. Then came the moment, the check. I reached for my wallet and, nothing. I'd left it at home. "I forgot my wallet," I said sheepishly. "Mind covering?" She froze. And then she panicked. I actually left my purse in the car." "I'll run and grab it," she said, bolting up so fast she almost knocked over the wine glass. That's when I knew something was wrong. Samantha never panicked. Never. But she ran out of that restaurant like her life depended on it. And she didn't come back for 40 minutes. What happened next, what I learned in the days and weeks that followed, made me question every year of my marriage. And it all started with a forgotten wallet. I stared at the front door of the restaurant for what felt like hours. 10 minutes passed. No sign of her. 20. I texted, "Everything okay?" No reply. 30. I called. It rang once, then went to voicemail. I tried again. Straight to voicemail. My stomach tightened. The waiter started giving me looks. I mumbled something about a lost purse and stepped outside. The night was quiet. The air had that damp, muggy summer feel. I stood on the sidewalk and scanned the parking lot. She wasn't there. Neither was her car. I walked toward the corner and froze. Across the street, under a dim streetlight, I saw her, Samantha. She was laughing. Smiling in a way I hadn't seen in months. And she was getting into the passenger seat of a black car. A man was behind the wheel. I couldn't make out his face, but she leaned in. Hugged him. Too long for it to be just friendly. Then the car pulled off. I didn't move. I didn't speak. I just stood there, in the warm dark, watching the woman I thought I knew disappear with a man I didn't recognize. She came back 15 minutes later. Flushed. Out of breath. Sorry. It was such a mess in the car, I couldn't find my purse. I nodded. Paid the bill. Drove home in silence. And that night, as she slept beside me, like nothing happened, I lay awake, staring at the ceiling, already knowing everything had changed. The next morning, she acted normal. Too normal. She kissed me on the cheek like nothing happened. Made her coffee. Complained about her morning meeting. I watched her carefully. Not accusing. Just, watching. Over the years, I'd learned to read Samantha's moods. She was composed, efficient, smart. But when she lied, she got chatty. Over-explaining. Filling silence with noise. And that morning, she wouldn't shut up. I parked too far away last night, she said, eyes darting. Then I realized I left my purse under the seat, and I had to crawl halfway into the back seat to find it. What about the bank? I interrupted, casually. You said you went to an ATM. She blinked. I did. Yeah. Yeah, I stopped by the ATM on 5th. Her voice got higher. Too fast. Too rehearsed. Funny thing is, I use that same ATM sometimes. And I have the bank app on my phone. While she showered, I logged in. We share some accounts. One of them is tied to her card. No withdrawal. Not last night. Not even this week. And that's when my stomach dropped. She lied. Flat out. About a stupid thing, paying for dinner. She panicked, bolted, disappeared with a man, and then lied about going to an ATM that never happened. And that told me one thing. This wasn't the first time. It was just the first time I noticed. The moment I saw him, something clicked. I couldn't get the image of that car out of my head, the black sedan, the way she laughed as she climbed inside, the too familiar hug. I didn't sleep much. I just kept replaying it. The next day, I drove her to work. Something I never do, but I volunteered. Said I wanted to grab lunch downtown. She didn't argue. Seemed relieved, even. As she got out, I watched her walk inside, and then I parked across the street. I waited. And just before 10 a.m., that same black car pulled up. He wasn't picking her up. He was dropping her off. And when he pulled away, I saw his face. It hit me like a punch. I knew him. I'd seen him before. Not just once, multiple times. Picking her up from the house, sometimes late at night, sometimes early in the morning. She always told me it was a rideshare, an Uber driver she trusted for late events. But this wasn't casual. This wasn't business. This man had been in our lives for months, maybe longer. And I, like a clueless idiot, had smiled and waved from the porch. He had short dark hair, sunglasses, well-groomed beard. Attractive. Confident. Not the nervous, awkward vibe of your average driver. And when I checked my old texts, there it was, a message from her, months ago. Heading to that venue in North Hills. Same driver as last time. Don't wait up, I might be late. I'd ignored it then. Now it felt like a knife. That man wasn't just a driver. And I was starting to wonder if I was just the guy paying the bills while she had her real life elsewhere. It started with a gut feeling. And ended with me watching my wife's location from my phone, in real time, as she lied to my face. We both have iPhones. A year ago, she shared her location with me when she lost her phone at a wedding. It stayed on ever since. She must have forgotten. I never looked before. But that morning, as she left, for a client meeting, across town, I opened Find My iPhone. She was nowhere near the address she gave me. Not even close. She was parked outside a residential neighborhood in Westwood, an upscale area with big houses and tall privacy fences. Not a business district. Not an event venue. Just homes. And she stayed there. For 2 hours. I watched the little dot sit still. Then move slightly. Then disappear. She called me later, bubbly and light, talking about how hard the venue manager was to deal with, and how she might be late getting home because of traffic. I said nothing. Just nodded, smiled, and asked if she wanted me to pick up takeout. I had a plan now. I wasn't going to confront her, not yet. I was going to gather everything. Every lie. Every location. Every text. Every voice memo. Because when I finally confronted her, I wanted there to be no escape. Over the next week, I became obsessed. Every evening, I checked her phone location. Every morning, I looked through our shared accounts for charges or anything unusual. Every time she left the house, I followed the little dot on the map. And a pattern emerged. She was going to the same hotel 3 nights a week, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, always checking in around 9 p.m., leaving around 2 or 3 a.m. I looked up the hotel online. Expensive. Private. Perfect for keeping secrets. The worst part? She told me she was staying late at the office on those same nights. But the office closes at 7 p.m. I started recording everything. Screenshots of her locations. Copies of texts she sent me, carefully crafted lies. And a growing pit in my stomach that told me this was just the beginning. It was a regular Thursday evening when everything fell apart. I was scrolling through her messages, not proud of it, but desperate for any clue, when I saw a new notification. A voice message. From her. To the driver. I didn't mean to open it. But I did. Her voice, soft and trembling, whispered. I know this can't last forever, but I can't stop thinking about you. I hate lying to him. I'm so sorry, but I don't want to lose what we have. My hands shook. I played it again. And again. I felt sick. That message wasn't meant for me. It was a confession. A betrayal. And proof that everything I thought about my marriage was a lie. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I didn't storm out. I waited. When she came home that night, I was sitting on the couch, calm and quiet. She looked tired but happy. I held the voice message in my hand. I know everything, I said softly. Her face went pale. She started to stammer, but I cut her off. This isn't about anger. It's about truth. You lied. You betrayed me. And I deserve to know why. She looked away, tears welling up. And for the first time in months, she broke down. She confessed. Not everything, just enough to shatter me. 3 nights a week, she'd been living a second life. Not just a fling, but something deeper. A parallel reality where she was someone else's wife, someone else's lover. She named him Michael. A businessman with charm, money, and a willingness to give her what she said she never got from me, excitement, attention, passion. She said she didn't plan to hurt me. That it just happened. But it was clear, this wasn't a mistake. It was a choice. And I was the backup. I needed to see him. The man who had been stealing my wife from under my nose. I arranged a chance meeting at a coffee shop downtown. When Michael walked in, I wasn't surprised. Confident. Smooth. Not a hint of guilt. He smiled, shook my hand firmly. I'm the guy who's been keeping your wife entertained, he joked. I didn't laugh. Instead, I studied him carefully. A man used to getting what he wants. And I realized this wasn't just about Samantha anymore. It was about me reclaiming my life. I knew confrontation alone wouldn't be enough. She was good at lying, too good. So I decided to catch her in the act. I booked a hotel room at the same place she visited every weekend. Then, I texted her, pretending to be busy with work and out of town. That Friday night, I hid in the shadows near the hotel lobby, watching. Around 9 p.m., she arrived. Minutes later, Michael showed up. They smiled. Kissed. Walked inside. I followed. And this time, I had my phone ready. The door shut behind them, and I stayed hidden in the hallway. After a few minutes, I heard voices, laughter, whispers, then sudden silence. I called Samantha's phone, and when it rang inside, I knocked loudly. Michael opened the door, surprised. "Can I help you?" he asked, smiling nervously. I showed him my phone. "Caught you red-handed." Samantha appeared behind him, shock on her face. There was no denying it now. I recorded everything, their reactions, the lies crumbling in real time. That night, everything changed forever. Word spread fast. She lost her job, her company didn't want the scandal. Friends stopped answering her calls. Michael disappeared like a ghost. I posted parts of our story anonymously on Reddit, warning others about the lies behind perfect facades. Our home felt empty. The silence was deafening. I realized the life I thought I had was gone. But so was the weight I didn't even know I carried. She reached out once, begging for forgiveness, promising to change. But the damage was done. The trust shattered beyond repair. I watched her world crumble, friends turning their backs, family disappointed, her career in ruins. I felt nothing but relief. Relief that I finally saw the truth. Relief that I was no longer living a lie. I packed a bag and left. Not just the house, the memories, the pain, the lies. Starting over isn't easy. Sometimes, I wake up haunted by what I lost. But I'm free. Free from deception. Free from doubt. Free to rebuild who I am, on my own terms. And maybe, one day, I'll learn to trust again.